I was in absolute carnivore heaven in Mae Rim, Thailand. We were there for 3 months. So I made 2 videos about being carnivore in Mae Rim, Thailand for my other channel, Aline's Adventures. So here is the first video, mainly about seafood. Have fun. I always try and like to film outside. I mean, it's much nicer background, but it's really loud out here. So I don't know if I should, because I know background noise is really annoying. Okay, let's try it in my room behind closed doors. Still have some of a background. Okay, I'm in heaven. That's what I thought when I walked in the first time to Macro Cash and Carry store in Mae Rim, Thailand. Holy shit, I'm in carnivore heaven. So many varieties for me, so many different meats and seafood, and so many things I've never tried before, I've never seen before, and I want to try. Yeah. So let's start with the seafood. So Mae Rim, close by Chiang Mai, is inland in Thailand, North Thailand. So there's no ocean, no water, but still there was so much seafood available. It was fresh and delicious. It's on ice, and you just take tongs or gloves and pick out whatever you want yourself, put it in a bag and give it to the people to weigh it out. So I love that, when you can pick yourself exactly what you want. So the first curious things I saw there was horseshoe crabs. I'm so excited. Finally, I bought one of those horseshoe crabs. Never had it before, never made it before, never even seen it before. Here at Macro, the grocery store in Mae Rim, Thailand, they have those every day. We went there all the time. I looked it up, how to cook it, how to prepare it. So I cooked, prepared it, and ate it, and so delicious. I absolutely loved it. Horseshoe crab, mainly the eggs, but also some flesh, and I made sure I have the kind of horseshoe crab, the flesh is not poisonous. Okay, it took me a while to make sure that I got that one. I didn't put anything on it, no salt, nothing. Okay, here, some flesh, some eggs. I want to just try the eggs first, here. Just some eggs. Mmm. Oh, I cooked it 15 minutes. It said 7 minutes. I cooked it 15 to be really, really sure. So maybe I overcooked it a bit. Oh, wow. Fucking love this. The eggs are like rubbery, but in a good way. I like it. Maybe I also just overcooked them a bit, but absolutely love it. I didn't eat everything at the same time, so I had some leftover, and I created a recipe for my other channel, Creative Carnivore Kitchen, and sometime in the future this recipe will air there. If you picked out a whole fish, you just bring it to the counter and tell them how you want it cleaned and prepared. And I don't know if they spoke English there or not, but doesn't matter. There was a chart that was super cool with numbers, and it showed you the different styles of cleaning and preparation, even with cutting up and stuff. So I always chose number 4 and just went to the counter and held up my fingers, and they performed it, weighted it out, and gave it back to me. So I was super surprised when I got home with the whole fish. The guts were still in there. Well, it was cleaned, but it was still hanging from one part, the guts, and shoved back in or something. And I thought, actually, unfortunately, I forgot to take a picture. And I thought, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Nothing gets thrown out there. I'm sure Thai people know how to prepare the guts, but I don't, and I didn't want to figure it out, and so I just threw them away. But other times when I bought other fish, the guts were gone. They didn't come with the guts. So I was wondering, maybe the first time, because not on purpose, I bought a tilapia. I didn't want a tilapia, but well, I got a tilapia anyways. So, and tilapia is very, very common in Thailand. I think it's probably sold and bought the most. And maybe they only do it with the tilapia. Maybe it's a specialty or something for Thai people to use the guts of tilapia. I have no idea. I absolutely love cephalopods, or however you pronounce that. I think so far my favorite seafood. And there were so many cuttlefish, squid, octopus. Oh, and Paul found jellyfish, but in a bag. I never had them before. So I looked it up how to prepare it. So apparently you just blanch it in water for like 30 seconds. So I did that for like 30 to 60 seconds. I tried it and oh my gosh, I loved it. Like crunchy in a way. And oh, I think I have to add that to one of my favorite seafoods. The flower crabs, unfortunately, they weren't as good as the alimasag in the Philippines. I was never really a fan of crab, except for king crab in Norway, but the alimasag in the Philippines, oh my gosh, they were absolutely amazing, delicious. So here is the video, traditional foods in the Philippines. At the macro store, they also had tanks with still living fish swimming around in there. And they also had a lot of fish and seafood packaged up and frozen, but they weren't really clean. Most of them had something else in it, like sugar or something, stabilizers, or I don't know, frogs. There were whole frogs there. Yeah, I had frog legs before, no big deal, but never a whole frog. And so at school in Switzerland, I never dissected a frog like they do in the US. I think almost everywhere in the US, or well, some years ago, they used to dissect frogs. So I never did that. So for me, it was super interesting. I got 3 frogs and I cleaned them and basically dissect them myself. And yeah, I learned a lot about frog anatomy and it was interesting. Okay, so I had frog legs before, but never the upper part, so I want to try. Let's get some of that. Some of this. Yeah, here. And some of the arms. Well, it's frog. It's not different than the legs, really, I feel. And there were many different kinds of shrimp and prawns. Even there was a bin full of just female prawns. So you could also get the roe. I bought those once, and the female prawns, they were really little, but yeah, most of them had roe with it, and that was kind of cool. So if you have a recipe, you want shrimp roe, so you can just get female prawns, and you for sure get some roe, because if you just get shrimp or prawns, you usually don't get any roe with it. Oh, and there was a bin full of ice, free to take for you to fill bags with ice. So when you want to get your food home, it will still be good. That is so cool. So I think everywhere they should do that, where there's meat and seafood, especially seafood. Just put a bin full of ice there and people can package a bag of ice and put it with their groceries. And I thought that was so great. I loved it. Of course, we did that. The frozen section, they didn't only have fish frozen, they also had like spiral Babylon snails, scallops still in the half shell with the roe. That was super cool. I got some of those. Ooh, at Macro, there was pure non-iodized salt, and it was even cheaper than the iodized salt. How it should be, yes. A case of those little sparkling waters, 24 bottles in it, cost about $1.50. That's 6 cents per bottle. Super reasonable price. I thought soda water in Thailand would be much more expensive because it's not really, I don't think Thais drink that, so it's not really a local thing, but it was cheap, so super cool. And the soda water, aka sparkling water, because it was filled in glass bottles, it was super, super sparkly, super, not sparkly, carbonated. So sometimes I even had to dilute it a little bit with flat water, so I love that. So in Reno, Nevada, the US, where we lived before we started this nomad life, so the sparkling water for 1.5 liters, it was about 85 cents, but before we left, it went up to 95 cents. So 1.5 liter, 95 cents. And so in Thailand, if you do the math, for the same amount, 1.5 liters, we paid 29 cents. Hell yeah, even cheaper. Super cool. There's another store we went to a lot, Rimping, but much more exclusive and expensive. So I will talk more about that store in the second part, Carnivore in North Thailand, Mae Rim, part 2, meat and eggs. But one thing I want to mention here about that store, I found clean fish sauce. Yeah, 80% anchovies, 20% salt. So cool. I loved it that I found that fish sauce. I didn't have fish sauce anymore since I'm a carnivore. I'm a carnivore since November 2019 because I never could find clean fish sauce. It always had sugar in it, preservatives, like something. So I was so super excited. Yes, I tried to make it myself, but I threw it away because fermented fish, I don't know, a lot of stuff can go wrong if you don't do it properly. And I was like, no, let's not take any chances. So Squid brand, a Thai brand, makes 3 different fish sauces. The labels are green, yellow, and gold. So all of them have anchovies and salt. So the green one also has sugar. The yellow one also has stevia. And the golden one, nothing else. Just 80% anchovies, 20% salt. Yeah, and at Rimping, they had that golden one. And I didn't even pay that much. I think I paid around $1.77 for that bottle, what is totally reasonable. When I Googled about clean fish sauces, I also found another brand, but from Vietnam, and that was like ridiculously expensive. Well, you could order it. And I don't remember the price, I really don't, but I think it really was like $50, something over $50 for the same amount. So I was so happy when I found the Squid brand, the golden one, super awesome. So of course I use that fish sauce quite a lot, and I also use it for recipes for my other channel, Creative Carnivore Kitchen. So super cool. We were doing trusted house sitters in Mae Rim, Thailand. Here is a video about that. We were taking care of 3 beautiful cats and a big house. But the first night we spent at the Monoceros resort that was very close by to the house. And also later on, we reserved 2 more nights at Monoceros resort. We didn't spend them there, but we reserved and paid for them for extending our visa. More about extending our visa and all about that in a future video. Anyways, my point is this. When we went over there to reserve 2 more nights, the owner there told us that breakfast is included, and Paul said, yeah, I might take advantage of that, but she can't eat breakfast there. She's on a very strict diet. And then Paul, his name is also Paul, Resort Paul, I call him now, the owner. So Resort Paul said, oh, they also have vegetarian. And we were both, oh, no, only meat. And then Resort Paul told us, oh, there's a guy living there in the resort, also staying there, and he eats only meat and eggs. And he just buys his own food and then will give it to the chef there at the resort and tell them how to prepare, how to cook it for him, and then they do that. Super cool. I never heard that before. So I asked Resort Paul, oh, does he, like me, only eat meat, seafood, and eggs, and also no spices and stuff, just salt? I was curious. And Resort Paul said, no seafood, only meat and eggs. But sometimes he asks for a bit of garlic or pepper. So he also eats spices. But yeah, he just buys his own food, steaks usually, I think, and gives that to the chef, tells him how to prepare it, and then they prepare it for him. I think that is so fucking cool. Since our nomad life that started March 30th, 2024, I've never came across or heard of someone that is a fellow carnivore. Yes, of course, in Switzerland, my friend is a carnivore there, but otherwise I've never encountered another carnivore or heard about one. And I think that's so fucking awesome that they cook and prepare the meat for that guy. So being a carnivore doesn't have to be very complicated while traveling. Now for the very end, I remembered to turn on the ring light, but at least now you never had these blue rings in my eyes because of my glasses. I always try to get them away, but it's kind of hard. So anyways, for this last part, let's get some blue rings and maybe more lighting. I love getting infos, especially from locals, but also anyone else about different foods from different countries. So if you know anything about, if you have any suggestions and infos about foods from Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, Australia, or anywhere in Central and South America, please let me know by putting them down in the comments. Thank you very much. Stay happy, stay healthy. Bye.